Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Anime on Draft. This is episode 115. My name is Mark. I'll be your host today. All four of us are here today. Rolando, Drew, and Alec. What's up, guys? How are you?
Rearranging here.
Yeah?
Good. You got really quiet, Mark, for me.
What's that?
You got really quiet for me.
You did.
I got really quiet for you.
Yeah.
Let me
What'd you
bring
change?
myself up. I did not change anything.
Nice. Wonderful.
It's just like, hello,
Excellent.
guys. This is episode 115 of Anime.
Excellent.
I didn't change a thing.
Not a single thing.
I don't know.
Guys, what if
else
it was
to tell
all of
you.
us and not him?
What if
It's
we're,
all of us.
all of us were just
Going
going
deaf.
deaf at the same
Oh
time?
my god. Communal deafening.
Everybody's like, can't hear anything you're saying.
It's like Fire Force, except with going deaf. We're not catching fire, we're going deaf.
Dude, why would
That's
you,
scary
Spontaneous
thought.
death.
why would you
That's
say
a
that?
scary.
I don't like that.
Spontaneous,
Spontaneous deafness.
spontaneous loss of hearing.
The-
Oh,
that-
no.
that's a scary thought, man.
I don't like any of this.
I don't know. I bumped myself up a little bit. Am I good now?
Yeah.
We good?
We can hear
Continue?
you.
We good.
We can
Cool.
hear
It
you
wouldn't
now.
be an anime on draft episode if we didn't have some technical difficulties.
You are correct.
Some kind of hiccup. So welcome again. We got another sober September episode here. So we aren't drinking any beer on this episode, but we'll still be discussing some random beer topics. I think today we will be talking about some beers that were surprising to us, whether ones we didn't really like or ones that we didn't think we were gonna like initially, but turned out to enjoy. So we'll get into that. We also have some other anime, random anime topics. Fire Force Namachi Season 2. So yeah, it'll be a good episode with all four of us back. Let's
Yeah.
get into it. So most surprising beer that you guys have ever had. Let's start off with like the worst ones. Let's start off with some negative ones.
Some
I don't know who wants to
baddies.
start off with. I mean, I'm just gonna throw this one out there to get this one off the shelf. Mississippi Mud.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
That
gonna
was
be-
my number one.
That's. I'm just gonna start it off with
But is
that
it
one.
No, no, no.
really surprising?
That wasn't actually, no, it was a little surprising.
a little bit.
It was.
We had different expectations for that one.
I think I thought it would be okay. Not.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when it was
Oh,
picked, we're like,
absolutely
oh,
awful.
we haven't done this style before, and we were all like really interested to do what's the exact name of the style so I don't butcher
Black
it?
and
It's,
tan.
Black and tan.
Yeah, black and tan. It was like, yeah, black and tan. That sounds good. And like I've had good black and tans before, so I was expecting that. And
It wasn't that.
And then you remembered it was a $4.
yeah,
like,
$4.
growler.
Yeah. It was like 32
well,
ounces of beer.
and on top of all that, Liz had to buy 2 of them because she dropped one and then had to go back to get another one. And so I
Oof.
feel really bad for spending $8
Oof.
um, on that. So
What a
big
waste
oof.
of $8.
Yeah, that was probably the omen right there when she dropped the first one. Is that you just shouldn't have gotten another one.
It was like, guys,
Yeah,
I literally,
probably.
we had it and it broke. I don't want to go back to the store for it. All right, that's fine. Oh, man, I saved myself from this disaster.
I feel like I think somebody mentioned this before. The price tag on that probably should have been a pretty clear indicator.
Except for how much beer you're getting.
Yeah, because it was like a 16 ounce or something. and
It's pretty
It's bigger
big.
than
It was a
that.
jug.
It's a jug. You get
It
a
was
jug,
a
of it.
beer for like $4. That should have been flag number 1. So yeah, all right. So getting Mississippi Mud out of the way, that was by and far the worst beer that we've had on this episode. I think probably like the worst beer
It
that
has
I've probably
such a
ever
high
had.
rating, too. I don't understand.
It was just bad.
It's not good.
I'm really sorry. If anybody likes it, like, and you're out there, please tell us that you like really enjoy it or something. Tell us maybe it's different on. I don't know. Is it even on tap? I don't know.
No.
Or tell us,
Why didn't
maybe,
you get that on
maybe
tap?
it's like really good with a certain type of food. You're like, oh, with this, it's great. All right, I'll try it.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's really popular in Mississippi.
Maybe. Maybe.
Straight from the mud.
Although I don't know why they would call it mud. So
I don't know.
I'm gonna fix this a little. I don't know. All right, so who else wants to go? Give me their pick for one of the most surprising beers. Alec.
That's a negative.
You want to start off? Yeah.
That's a
Or
negative.
we'll just yeah.
All
sure,
right, we'll
sure.
start with a negative. And honestly, this is probably because it was overhyped to me. But you guys might hate me, but I really don't like Pliny at all.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's gross.
You did not have fresh Pliny. Mark's bottle had been sitting there for a month. That is not how when you're
but
supposed to
even
have Pliny.
still,
right.
but even
Yeah.
I've had other beers after a month and they've been better than that.
Pliny
I'll
is
try
not
it
supposed to
again.
be drunk after a month.
I'll
It's
try
supposed
it
to be
again,
drank
but that
within
was
within the
gross.
first 2 weeks. Like the end of 2 weeks is like
But the one that
already
I had
deteriorating.
was surprisingly bad, and I did not like it. So I'll try it again, fresh. Maybe I'll go to the brewery and I'll get it on tap and give it a real honest college chance, college try.
yeah. When we go
Maybe the old college.
when we
try.
go to Northern California
Yeah.
for hitting up the Firestone Brewery, and then we can stop by, get some Pliny,
Yeah.
get some Pliny the Younger for
some
the rest of
Pliny.
us, because I don't think you're gonna like Pliny the Younger at all.
I could try it, but yeah,
That's the one that's like just straight hops.
just straight hops. Yeah, I doubt I'll like it then.
Yeah, I
But
don't think you'll really put
You're-
it out.
Quiet
You are
again.
going quiet again.
you're like, you went like super dark, and then
Yeah,
it got really
like your
quiet.
light turned
Yeah.
down, and then
It was like,
you got quiet.
is Slendy there? Is Slendy?
Do you have like a weird spirit in your?
Getting abducted.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Help it. Help it.
Oh god.
Help him!
Technical
help me.
difficulties.
Help.
Someone help him!
Technical
The
difficulties.
Mississippi mud gods are like trying to.
What's going?
Destroy.
Oh my god, everything's fucked
Everything's
up
fucked up now. What the hell's going on?
now. Is it the source?
It might be the source. You know what? That could be it.
Should we just all leave source and join again?
I mean, no. Well, it wouldn't be between me and you. It's only between them and me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you sound fine.
Yeah. Let's the three of us re-enter this source call and see if that fixes it.
All right, we're gonna go to a quick intermission and re-enter this source call so that we can talk normal. All right, we back. We back.
Yeah.
We
We're back,
are
boys.
back live. Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking it out with us.
Thanks for sticking around.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
let's just kind of just jump right back in. So some of the most surprisingly negative beers that we've had. Some of the worst beers that we've had, maybe.
Yep.
Just really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alec,
got
I don't remember what you said.
He said Pliny.
Pliny.
Pliny, right.
But
I just
have
like
to give it
erased that
another
from my mind. I
college
was
try.
like, I don't know why.
I have to give
He
it
said
another
Pliny.
college try.
He said Pliny, and then craft beer drinkers around the world had a huge.
Yeah. Oh,
Good. Good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Let's just gloss over that.
Good. I'm
Drew-
glad. That beer sucked.
Drew, what do you got, man?
I have a couple that come to mind. One was the Rogue Sriracha beer. We did that one on the show, and like I didn't hate it, but it was just weird. And then the other one that I was gonna say, I had it at McKellar recently. It's called One Night in Bangkok. It is a New England IPA with mango, guava, and Thai chili. It was not very good. We talked about them last week and how they like to experiment, and like I'm happy that they are experimenting. But some of their choices are a little
off base.
odd. Yeah. This was one of them. The chili did not complement the mango flavor at all, and I didn't really get any guava. So don't recommend that one.
Right. Oof.
I like the name though, that's why I picked it, and I thought I like spicy things, so I was like, oh, I'll try it. Spicy beer.
Yeah.
Spicy
Speaking
beer.
like on the same track of spicy, yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the mango cart.
The spicy mango cart.
The spicy mango cart. Yeah, that was one that I had trouble drinking that tall can. It was just hot.
It was
I don't know.
it was just like heat, like in the back of your throat.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one. I think that's probably like my most surprising. I was expecting a little chili or some kind of spice. It was just a weird hot. I don't know.
I think we were both expecting like the kind of like flavorful spicy that like, you know, putting some like chili on like a mango, that kind of thing. But that was more like, hey, here's like extracted heat.
Here's just some hot fire in your
Here's
mouth.
just some straight hot fire.
Here's some hot. There's just heat, and then there's also mango beer afterwards.
and super sweet mango beer. Yeah, it was that like weird combination of the two. I don't know. That was
Spicy
it.
beers are hard to do well. Like if you do it really well, it can be enjoyable, but you also have to be in the mood for it too, because it's not really a beer that you drink by itself either. It's like definitely better to have it with some sort of food. By itself, they can be a little rough.
Yeah. Rolando,
I
what
agree.
about yourself?
Yeah. It's like there are beers that are surprisingly bad, and then beers that like, you know, just surprised you because you thought they were gonna be good. So I'm gonna go with surprised you because you didn't think they were gonna be like you thought they was gonna be good, and I'm gonna go with another McKellar beer, and it's the that maple breakfast stout or whatever it was. It was just like
Yeah.
artificially mapley sweet, and I'm already not a big fan of stuff that's like too sweet, and that was just like ridiculously sweet for a beer. And so like for me, that was surprisingly bad, but I guess I should have just known from what it was. But I mean, like I had the Canadian breakfast stout from Founders, and that was like not like too sweet or anything, and that had like the maple syrupy like taste to it. So,
Right, yeah, that was like a very subtle. It was a well blended mix of that like breakfast style. But yeah, the McKellar one was just so heavy. It was really tough to drink. I feel bad that like you were drinking it for so long, and I was like,
You're like, can you guys
Rolando,
help me?
You were
with
like, yeah,
this?"
you just need to help me with this. And then even like we started drinking, I was like, oh my god, yeah, this
Yeah.
is. I can't believe you drank it
Yeah.
like so much of this already. Like,
Icky.
yeah,
It was like drinking syrup. It was really thick too.
yeah,
thick,
Yeah.
it was thick.
thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Depending on the oatmeal, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into some positivity here then.
Yeah.
What about some beers that you thought that you were kind of unsure of that you enjoyed or that you end up enjoying? And we'll start again with you, Alec.
I don't know if I
Pliny.
was unsure of this one. I just was surprised. I wasn't unsure of Pliny. I
Pliny
was
the Younger.
unsure.
The second time.
No, yeah, Pliny the Younger. Elder sucks. Younger, wow. No.
Got it. Nice.
No, I wouldn't say I was like unsure this one would be good. I thought it would be good because the brewery always makes good beers, but I was surprised at how good the beer was, and that is the Old Manhattan from Firestone. Because I knew it would be good, but I tasted it and I was like, oh my god, this tastes like an old fashioned and beer, and it's delicious. So that one was surprising just by that sheer fact. For me.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about saying that, but I wanted to say a McKellar beer to kind of redeem them. So when we tried the raspberry blush for the first time, it was very unexpected and delicious. We had that at my house when we were having a little Halloween party. It's almost been a year since then. But man, what a crazy flavor! But it just works. Raspberries, coffee, in
Sour.
a ghost style sour type beer,
Yep.
delicious. And I don't like sours that much, and
Nope.
it's delicious.
Yeah, I was so surprised that you actually like really enjoyed it because I had that first and I was like, you guys need to try this, and I was a little skeptical about you about Drew trying it. But yeah, the fact that you enjoyed it so much, it really speaks for how good it was.
And I actually even recommend the double blush. So you can't get it in most places. You have to go to McKellar usually to get it, but it's like double raspberry, double coffee. It's just like more flavor, and it is even better, I think. So definitely like that one.
Nice.
Right. Rolando?
I don't know if it's like, it's kind of hard to say if it's something that's like surprisingly good because I expected it to be good, but like I guess one that I can think of would be like the raspberry truffaut from Avery. But like I kind of thought that was gonna be good, so I don't know if that was surprising.
I think you bought it because you thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah. So
You're like, oh, that looks really good.
I think if I have to say, maybe so one of the beers that Drew and I had from London, I would say something like the Verdant, because it's like a more lesser known brewery, like and it was just like a really solid beer. The Verdant Pulp, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good pick, yeah, because it was. I mean, the way you described it, I wouldn't say it was like surprising because it's like this up and coming sort of brewery, but it was like exceeded expectations for sure. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. I wish I could try it because the way that you guys are talking about it
You
last week
can't.
sounds really, really good.
You can't.
You guys put it above Orderville, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like,
I'll ask my
Wow.
sister to bring some
Yeah.
back from London.
Yeah.
yeah.
Be like, go pick these up. I need you to get this.
I
this,
actually
this.
kind of I want more of it. It's actually really good.
Can you get me
It's
6
so
of
good.
this beer,
It's
please?
so good.
That would be dope.
Thick.
So I think I have I'm kind of torn between two one of them is from the Alvarado Street Brewery, and that's in Monterey or Salinas area, and I brought this one down. I don't know if you guys ever tried this or not, or if whenever you guys were here. It's the Terps and Caicos. It's a kettle sour ale with pineapple, orange, coconut, and Northern Lights terpenes. That was one that
Terpenes.
just sounded interesting, and that was why I ended up getting a 4-pack of it. I was kind of unsure about it. I had a feeling that it was going to be very sweet and kind of sugary, but it was actually really good. It was pretty mellow, almost tasted like a Mai Tai kind of thing. And so that one was pretty good. The other one that I had, or that I can think of, I had this last year, and I know Drew, you've had this. The Stone Choco Vesa, the stout brewed with Mexican style chocolate,
Yeah.
or Mexican hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that I was very, very unsure of because I like Mexican hot chocolate.
Me too.
And I wasn't sure how that would transfer over to a beer. I could see it the way that it was brewed. It was very, that bitter flavor came out very, very mellow, and it was very good. So that was one that I really enjoyed.
Didn't Belching
think I
Beaver
was
make
going
one
to.
too? They made
They
one to
do,
try
I
to be like
think.
it.
Yeah,
Or
I haven't
it's
tried
just
that
Mexican
one though.
chocolate. It's not Mexican hot chocolate.
So it's like the the
Mexican
peanut
chocolate,
butter
peanut
stout
butter
or whatever.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's
that same stout, but they did Mexican hot chocolate as opposed to peanut butter and chocolate or whatever.
I think the peanut butter stout by Belching Beaver would be a good shout out for a surprising beer because that was one of the first times I tried a beer that was not beer. It's oh, wait, there's peanut butter in this beer? What? That was the first time I ever had a beer like that. That was really kind of, it felt off the wall. Now it's super common.
Common, yeah.
For me, it was whoa. And then that was one of my favorite beers for a long time until the Zumbar came around. That was my number.
You gotta be careful with the stone one that Mark was talking about though, because it's like really high percent too.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
And you also have to drink it cold. Do not drink it warm.
That doesn't
I
sound
do
like
not
a-
recommend that.
I don't really recommend
That's,
drinking any stout warm,
Yeah.
generally
Yeah.
speaking.
Beer.
I thought of another one really quick
So
too.
certain
Alec, those beers that you brought me from that Las Vegas brewery, the one that had the melon in it. I think it was a milkshake IPA with the melon.
I think so.
I don't remember the name
the
of
Tall
it,
Boys?
but that
Yeah,
one was
yeah.
really good.
Let me see. I can't get the name.
From a Vegas brewery.
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
brewery in downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah, I gave him my bean bag, and then he gave me beer.
I gave him unable to get in San Diego beer. It was the Motu
Yeah.
Melon Milkshake IPA.
Yeah, that was it was
Mochi melon.
excellent.
Yeah,
It was
it's,
good.
what is
So
it?
you know, like lemon pan, it tasted like
Mhm.
lemon pan, but in beer form, with like a little bit of bitterness from that you would kind of expect from a hazy IPA. It was
Lemon
good.
or melon pun?
melon pan?
I was like, what do you mean lemon?
Did I say lemon pan?
She said lemon.
I'm stupid.
It's like,
melon.
what the fuck It's
is
okay.
that?
I was
I
thinking
was like lemon
butter
pie,
lemon,
but it's a melon.
butter lemon.
Butter lemon. Butter lemon strong zero.
So that one is
Butter
brewed
lemon, that's
with double
best.
dry hopped with NZ Motu and GR melon hops. It has milk sugar and then it has notes of papaya melon, cotton candy, and cantaloupe.
Well,
That's
that
good.
sounds
It's
really
good.
good.
That's
It's
super.
really good. That was
Yeah.
that one and the other one we had. The other double dry hopped were really good. The third one wasn't as good as the other two.
sounds interesting.
Yeah,
And it was good, huh?
very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good.
Nice. Well, yeah. Anything else that you guys can think of? Anything that maybe stuck out to you, or that things that we may have tried on here? I think the raspberry blush, man. That was
I would
was
say
one
that's
I wasn't
like
expecting.
one of the most surprising ones.
Yeah, I was not expecting that one to be as good as it was. I mean, like it's McKellar, like like majority of the ones that we've had have been like very, very good.
But you hear that combination, and you're like,
And yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
pretty out there. Like it's kind of scary. Chocolate, coffee, and sour. Yeah,
It worked.
It works. It worked. Yeah.
Tastes good.
It worked. Yeah. Cool. So then with that, let's move on to our anime pairing. This week, I don't know if we want to discuss Fire Force or Danmachi Season 2.
Well, I mean,
I like the note that you put for Don Machi. Why don't you read that out to the stream?
Can I read that out? Why won't Bell just give up his virginity to save some lives, man? This is like second episode of this season.
he can't,
just coulda-
dude. He's part of House Hestia, and Hestia is
Yeah,
the
they're
virgin
pure.
goddess.
Yeah, you can't.
Her first child can't be
That's what she
defiled.
said.
She can
She
never
said
have a
his,
first child.
his chastity's in danger.
Yeah,
Oh man,
that is what she
Yeah.
said.
poor Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
especially
lot of
with what is it? The troll.
Yeah,
The Titan.
this
The Titan.
Free
this
name.
episode. So, can anybody remind me what episode number this was?
9.
This is episode 9. And this was another episode where again it's like it's getting predictable in the sense of like we knew Belle was gonna come back and go to save
the
her-
day.
yeah,
Because
to
that was
save
the
day
reason we
and-
complained about it last time.
Yeah.
and be the hero. But it's just so like it's the way that they do things in the show is that it's just like so forced and so contrived that it's just like he just had this glowing hand and he's like, I know what
I
I'm
can do it.
I
now.
know what I must do. Yeah.
And that didn't even come into play like at all, did it? Like they
No.
didn't explain that, and he just
No.
like ran up there.
His hand was just
The-
glowing like he's gonna lucky
'Cause he
crit,
wants
and
to
then he
be a
just
hero.
freaking.
The best part of the episode is like the most cliche thing that can ever happen in anime when the dagger flies up into
Oh,
the air and then it lands
Lands.
and you're like and then it breaks.
Oh, is it gonna break or is it gonna be okay? Oh my god.
it's
No, and I just
yeah, some of the things
that his
happen.
glowing hand is supposed to be this huge big attack, and he just kind of throws his weak ass fireball that like knocks 6 people aside. He's like, firebolt. All right, I'm inside
Nice.
now. I thought like he destroyed a skeleton, a massive giant skeleton with it, and now he can like barely blow up 6 people. I thought he was just gonna blow up the whole building.
I thought he was gonna
like,
kill all of them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. He's just gonna like massacre the front door and there's gonna be
Massacre
this huge
everybody.
hole.
This is the power.
He was gonna
of
massacre a
level 3.
brothel of women.
Yeah, right. Who are raping men like Hermes,
It's-
saving
Yeah.
lives.
I think a good way to describe this season of Don Machi is I was watching this episode and I was watching the opening credits, and I was like, oh wow, the way they use like the camera in the opening credits is really cool, and it's just like it got me thinking of how like animation is done differently now, where like you have different layers and you can have like these dynamic cameras, kind of like in like Kimetsu no Yaiba and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
then that was the most memorable thing of the episode for me.
Was the opening.
Was realizing like, oh, the opening has like a pretty cool like thing with the camera and the animation, and then there's
And the
episode.
transitions are actually pretty good in the opening. I think like
Yeah.
Aisha like swings the sword and like transitions to another scene. It's like done like very well, and the animation's
Yeah.
actually like good. Well, it's not like great, but it's like
Well, it's like
it's good for
good,
for
yeah.
It's good for the
for
show.
JC staff. Yeah.
and then you have this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And-
guess I won't say it's
Yeah.
awful. I still like am sort of enjoying it, but I'm not.
It's
really
not like a
taking
pain
it
to
very
watch, but it's
I'm not like,
just-
oh my
There's a
god,
lot
the
of
next
issues with it.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah. The way I would describe this show is we're along for the ride.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
There's
you
no,
mean like
there's
when I was
nothing-
15 episodes deep or whatever in King's Game? And I'm like,
No.
all right, here
Yeah.
we're going.
No,
We're
you
going.
you were
Too
you were
late to turn
taken
back.
you were kidnapped on that one.
Yeah, that was a good ride. That was a good ride.
Well, we'll probably be kidnapped by another JC staff show next season. Doesn't Shokugeki,
Shokugeki
come
comes
back
back,
next
yeah.
season? Yeah, so we'll be along for that ride too.
That's another one. Oh goodness, I can't wait for that one.
Oh man,
Oh,
what
boy.
Yeah.
what's gonna happen this time?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be watching that, guys. I read the manga. I suffered enough.
I already wanted to drop it
suffered enough.
at the end of the last season. Like just as that was going on that season, I was just like,
I feel
I'm
like
tired.
can't.
Yeah.
It's our
we have
longest
to.
on-running show.
We've gone
it's
too
not.
far.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan.
Oh, it's
Attack on
not.
Titan.
Yeah, it'll be the
Attack on
longest
Titan.
because it'll be season
Attack
4,
on Titan
right?
was the first show we
This is gonna
covered.
be season 4 though, right? So it's gonna become the longest.
I don't know how.
Attack
we're
on Titan had
naming
2
it.
season 3s.
This is gonna be the longest one. It's gonna be the longest.
Guys, this will be the longest one.
It will be.
The
It will
longest.
be the
By the
longest
way.
in
Longest,
multiple
by
ways.
the way.
In multiple ways. 'Cause it's miserable to watch.
It's gonna.
It
be
feels like it's been going on forever.
a show. It's gonna be a show. I mean,
Yeah.
like
It
Don
will
Machi,
air.
the season of Don Machi isn't bad. Like it's
No, I
it
still
has
enjoy
like
watching
good elements to it. Yeah, like this whole arc like has a really like strong like like driven plot. Like the story behind like saving Haruhime is like a really like powerful thing.
And
You
you
get,
like
like,
Haruhime
Mikoto's-
too. Yeah.
You get Mikoto's
Yeah.
backstory too.
Right. Like the plot itself is like it's a pretty like well fleshed out, but it's like all the stuff that happens in between is just so
Poorly
kind
done.
of forced and poorly done. And I'm just gonna keep saying it because I mean this is the way that I keep feeling that it's just like visual novel that's animated. It's like visual novel style writing that gets the anime treatment. I don't know. It's
Well,
Mikoto gets hit in
that's
the arm
all-
and then she just goes and falls off the side.
That's all. That's all
I actually
the
laughed.
that's all the issues with adaptation. And
Right.
if you don't have a good screenplay and like it's not directed very well, then that's what you end up with.
That's what'll happen.
End up with
Sure.
this.
Yeah, but this is based off a light novel though, right? Like the light novel is
Yep.
like far ahead of like where we are.
No idea.
I don't know how far ahead it is, but I'm sure it is ahead.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that we're seeing now has happened at least in the mobile game. Like Haruhime was a character in the mobile game, I believe. So there's content out there at least.
Content.
How well it's
what kind of
adapted.
content?
I don't know.
Pog.
Poggers.
237-435.
What kind of content?
237-435.
Probably more.
Don't say those numbers.
Google that number.
Amazon Titan,
Don't
Titan lady.
Listen to
content.
Alec, please.
Yeah, that's what you run into when you type in those numbers. Amazon Titan.
Amazon Titan. Amazoness.
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazoness.
Toad.
You gotta be.
I don't want to think about
Toad
that.
Titan.
Oh gosh. All right. Well then
Oh,
let's.
oh. Robot? You're right
He's
there.
Am I?
lagging. He's
Yeah,
lagging.
Oh,
I was
okay.
lagging for a
There
second.
you go.
Yeah. So then let's move on then. Let's move into some Fire Force discussion.
Yeah.
This is a good episode. There was a lot of stuff that came up in this episode. I don't want to
Spoil.
Yes, I don't want to spoil, but there was some stuff that was dropped that kind of leads us more into this kind of cult fashion, and like the fact that like now we know that there are people who are behind Rekka and like his reasoning. So I don't know. I want to get like your guys' thoughts on this and like where we are now and like the realization at this point. Drew.
Cool. Yeah.
Drew.
It's like we all knew that something was gonna come up with like fanatical cultists, or like what do they call them, evangelists?
Evangelists,
Well, there's the evangelist.
The evangelists. So it's like they even look like the Crusaders. They dress up like the Holy Crusaders. So there's like some like religion or something, some sort of motive like that behind them, or like the Freemasons or something along those lines. But anyway, the fight was cool, I feel like, in this episode, but I don't think that's the biggest highlight. I think the biggest highlight is actually finding out at least a little bit more of what's going on. It's interesting to see, and I think like the biggest thing that we got out of this was how the bugs kind of react to Shinra, and how he's like this maybe one of these chosen few that this group is kind of looking for.
Him and the kid.
And that also, no, like Shinra himself, because of how the bug was like reacting.
He was reacting to
wants
his
to
flames.
go back to the flames.
Yeah.
And it also ties in the fact of his brother, and so like he got the hint from Joker that his brother's still alive, and so we're now assuming that his brother has kind of been taken by this fanatical group and has been raised, probably similar to how we saw what is it, Rekka, similar to how like he was raised. So like when we meet him, hopefully we meet him, maybe he'll be like fanatical like that, or like super powerful flame user, pyrokinesis user,
But
whatever you wanna call it.
brainwashed.
But brainwashed.
But brainwashed, yes.
He's a fourth
yes.
generation.
Oh.
He is flame.
He is.
He's
the
gone
flame.
above plus ultra.
He's plus ultra.
Shit. I wonder what's gonna happen with that kid though, who didn't become an infernal. Is
He looks like he was not. He was straight up not having a good
Not
time.
having a good
Yeah.
Is he
Having
gonna
some
be a
hot flashes.
pyrokinesis guy now? He can like use fire now.
Yeah, he has. I think he's gonna have an ability.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is he? I wonder if he's like fourth generation now. Oh shit.
No, he would be first gen because he didn't have.
Yeah, they gave
Family.
him fourth gen powers.
Oh,
Pog.
I don't think it works like
Don't.
that. Just kidding.
Yeah, don't think it
Just
works
gonna
that
tell
way.
you right now.
No.
No.
Trust. Just believe. Marshall, you haven't
Trust.
read this one. You don't know.
Oh, yeah, I haven't read that spin-off.
You
Sorry.
haven't read this manga. You don't know.
I don't know.
Trust.
Trust. Yeah,
gen
there's
powers.
the things with like the evangelist and like the holy lights. Like we start getting a glimpse into kind of how the world, or like what happened with the world. Because like we know from the beginning that there was this huge explosion, and most of society was just eliminated. But now like Rekka mentions like the guiding light or something like that, the holy light,
The pilot.
Something.
The pilot light.
pilot light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's looking
That's
to
how it was
get
translated
people
to.
to be pilot or whatever.
I assume Pilot Light in the sense that it's the original, the first.
The first flame, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're,
Original
now their
sin.
plan is to create a second sun. They're
Yeah, with Earth.
crazy.
They're getting
Of
into
a
like
second
some they're getting into some like Evangelion level, like high level, like secret society shit going on. It's like-
Illuminati.
well, it's like they talk about like the pilot light there, right? And so like Evangelion, you can compare that to like what is it called? First impact. So like when humanity was like most of humanity was wiped out, same sort of deal. And then the overall goal in Evangelion is human instrumentality, like ascending to the next level of humanity. Whereas this show, it's more like turn the planet into a sun.
I don't know where you're drawing these conclusions from, but
My
they're
brain.
they're a little different.
This is some Illuminati.
my
shit, that's what I'm
brain.
saying. This is Illuminati.
No, but the idea though of like secret societies kind of manipulating or pushing humanity in one direction is kind of the point I was trying to get across there. Obviously, there's factions trying to combat it. So we have the different units and the different companies in the church. But how they're all going to clash in the end, that is still a mystery that I want to find out
Mystery.
about. So, yeah.
It's a good show. It's enjoyable
Good
to
show.
watch.
Animation quality not as good this week.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, it was a little bit of a dip, a noticeable dip there.
The fight was still
It-
cool though.
Still cool,
It was
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I like how we get resolution in one episode, or like this was I guess 2-episode resolution, but like the fight was mainly done in the one episode, which is nice.
Yeah, I hate when they split a fight and you're like, okay, well, fuck you
Where,
too.
where
then.
was I? It's
Yeah.
like next week's like where did we leave off?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Fate Stay Night or anything.
Dragon Ball Z. 6-episode fights. Yeah, screaming for 2, talking
Just-
for 5.
They're talking for like
Blow up the planet in
Yeah.
4 minutes of the last episode. Oh, all right, fight's over. We gotta run now. Oh,
See you later.
Oh,
yeah. Maybe
okay.
we should send Rekka over to the Dragon Ball universe. You're gonna have a bunch of
Yeah.
different planets exploding and all that.
Well,
I mean,
he
Yeah,
can't.
screaming.
Yeah. He can't.
Wouldn't fit. He wouldn't fit in.
Yeah, he also
Well,
can't.
he can't.
Like he can't.
No, he would
Because
fit
of
in.
this
That
episode.
would be the perfect universe for him to be in because he could keep trying kids and then they could just wish them all back with the Dragon Balls. Be like, all right, those failed. Let's just get
Well,
some
they're
new
gonna
ones
have to
up in
wish
here.
him back.
You want to know another reason why? He,
They're gonna
you want
have
to
to
know
wish him
another
back.
reason why he can't? He got shot in the chest.
Yeah, he got blasted.
Yeah, 'cause
He's got a glowing hole.
DED dead.
DED. He's ripping peps.
dead.
Oh man, that was cool though. I think if that were animated better, that would have been a really cool scene when he was just standing
Yeah.
there with like the light beaming through. I think that would have been really cool. It was still cool, but I just wish it was drawn a little better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like kind of surprising. I mean, I don't know if you guys were taken aback by it, but I mean, the fact that they were just willing to kill somebody like that with, in
I'm not
order to
surprised.
hide their secrets.
That's
This is
Illuminati.
anime villain 101 right now.
That's true.
It's
They
Illuminati, dude.
erase all evidence.
They didn't want him to
Huh?
blab.
Good point.
No.
Mhm.
Can't
This
give
is
up
like
their
giving
secrets.
your spies cyanide pills. You're going to kill
Yeah.
yourself.
When he
That
was
is
he was
true.
also crazy too, so it's like you don't know
Yeah.
like what he would say. Like he was spouting a lot of like really important
Yeah.
shit like as he was
yeah.
The
fighting.
pilot, the evangelist.
Ah,
'Cause he
stars.
I think he just expected he'd kill everyone, and so he was like, "I'll be fine." Like, all right, you're a little crazy. We can't have you with us no mo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Too unstable.
Yeah.
Very he's off his rocker.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And then the guy lost his arm. Rip.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Priest Bro
Priest Bro.
lost his arm.
Lost his
Real
arm.
sad.
Got just cut off. But yeah.
Rip arm.
But we have a little mini alliance between the 1 and the 8 now, so that's cool. And Tamaki is part of the 8.
Now
as
we
well,
know
so-
why she's in the main
Yeah.
the scene at the end of the opening.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. And solidifies the stone in the harem. Yep.
But what's up with Arthur, guys?
Oh yeah.
Did
He's
the-
lost.
Yeah, he's
lost
lost.
in the desert.
Is he lost? He's like, "Heh, I'm fucking lost.
Are like sword bros just like idiots with direction? You got Zoro, ultimate lost sword bro. You got Arthur, super lost sword bro. Like, What is going on?
I'm just wondering if maybe
I guess
he's
so.
going back to where he was originally trained in the art of sword broology. That's where he's going.
At
And
the-
he's
at the
like,
Oh,
Keystone
at the world
Graveyard.
of
Yeah.
Shield, bro.
yeah, exactly. He's going to
He
fight.
got
with-
he got teleported to another
Mhm.
world.
yeah.
Looks like he was
Couldn't
at
say
the Keystone Graveyard. That's where I assume he's at, or the Keyblade.
The
Graveyard.
Keyblade Graveyard.
Keyblade.
The Keystone
Keystone.
Graveyard is where you throw away all your old beers.
Your
Your shitty beer.
Keystones.
Your keystones.
You're following the Keystone. Line.
And Dr. Stone lives there as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
science.
it's
That's
the
the stone world.
It's the stone world.
Oh, so that wasn't actually nitric acid that they broke the stone with. It was
Yeah, it was
Keystones.
Keystone Light.
Oh, okay. All right, just pour that on
light
stone.
beer. Light beer is
beer.
the only cure
Light,
to the stone
tasteless
world.
beer.
They can't translate it that way though because they're all underaged. So
Yeah, so it's nitric acid and science. Science. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not light, tasteless corn beer. It's
that's what it
fat
is in the
pea.
manga. Yeah, he's just cracking open a cold one to
Pour-
resurrect his boys.
He was the way he found it was he was pouring one out for the homie and he was pouring it
Oh,
on
yeah,
him. He's like,
right.
"Here you go,
Oh,
homie."
He's like, I miss you, bro.
Yeah,
I
and he's
miss
like,
you, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck!
you're just dumping a 40 on him.
Oh no.
All
my
right, that's
God.
canon now.
We need to tell him. We need.
And you know why he's
Uh,
called
it's-
Dr.
it's been
Stone already,
established.
so
No. Speaking of Dr. Stone, we've
Nice
now
segue.
regressed into Senku is making friends by promises of cola.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
That's
He's gotta
really
make-
right
ramen
now.
and cola.
He's got to make a good
Ramen and cola.
ultra
Yeah, he-
omega cold cola.
He officially turned into Chica and was just like, "You want a cola? Like, be my friend. It's okay." Yeah, no. Dr. Stone is still getting ridiculous.
show is so
yeah,
good.
I don't. Yeah, let's move on to something else. Just a quick
Literally.
announcement: no Vinland Saga, due to a typhoon that is near Japan right now. So they are limiting broadcasts. So there will not be an episode of Vinland Saga this week, but it will be back episode 10 next week,
Yep.
and that's going to be a good episode. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
I caught up.
Just
Just
for your
FYI.
information. Yeah.
Oh, maybe there's a show we can actually talk about
Yeah, I
next week.
completely
week.
caught up. Completely.
Now that you guys have
Nice.
finally caught up.
In 2 days. It was good.
Nice la.
I went back to the bingeing and I
The
channeled.
Yeah.
bingeing.
I
The
channeled.
binge
You channeled that power. You
did.
rewoken that power.
I woke
Nice.
It's woke now.
He's woke now.
I'm woke.
He's
now.
woke.
No way.
Woke. All right, so then let's. I guess that does it for our happy hour. Let's move into our discussion for this week. Do we want to talk fan subs? I know you guys brought it up last week, and you kind of just briefly mentioned, like early days of fan subbing and how, Rolando and I remember VHS tapes of anime that you just kind of that was your only source of anime watching in early days,
Or you got a sketchy CD-ROM with
or you get
with a bunch of
With a virus.
DivX videos that had
yeah. Or like
fan
some of them like wouldn't work. There would be like one episode that wouldn't open on that.
And then
CD,
it would
and
say-
it'd just be like no.
It would say, "Please do not sell or redistribute" on there.
Yeah.
On there.
Oops.
just per video.
Those were the
Oops.
type of things that like. So it's like if you got a hold of it, it was from someone. Like someone lent you the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember those days, and that was early days of like anime watching, and we talked about this before. As like yes, like we all kind of grew up like watching like Toonami and like Dragon Ball Z, and shows that like aired on U.S. channels, but like some of these shows that weren't as popular over here in the West. Our only access to them was like DVDs or early days of pirating, and then you're risking downloading things off of the internet illegally.
From other
Well, and
people.
then you had
Yeah.
the issue of download speed. So you would set it and
Right.
hope, but by the time you like came home from doing a bunch of stuff, that your computer didn't like restart or all this like crazy stuff that can happen with like slow internet speeds. It's like
Internet
one
goes
episode
down.
would take 3 or 4 hours to download.
If
Whereas
even,
now it takes 30 seconds and you got it, which is crazy to me. I was gonna ask, do you guys remember like going to like Suncoast and like looking at the anime section? It's like Suncoast DVDs or whatever. They had like, and they had like one small anime section, and I would like as a kid I would always go over there and just like look at all the crazy shows.
You
Because there's like
find-
nothing that we really had that was like that. And then I would be like, "Can I buy this?" My dad like, "No."
Yeah, when Suncoast was not a defunct company, they had all of that. It was obviously VHSs, and then when DVDs were a thing, they started doing that, and then they went defunct. But that was also where they had like New Type magazine, if you remember that. That was like the one main anime magazine back then, and I think it's still around. I think
Is it
maybe
really?
only
I think
maybe only in Japan.
I think it's only in Japan,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I think I mentioned like they had a like a ranking contest like last year, and I think it was like they're like a manga ranking. Yeah, I think it's only in Japan.
Yeah.
New Type USA, maybe not.
Yeah, New Type USA, I think, was the United States one.
Final issue published in 2008.
Yeah, so it's
It's
been
been a hot
11
minute.
years.
So it's
So
been a while.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, in like those early days, it's like you kind of just had to rely on other people who were fans of series in order like to translate, like a lot of the shows that were airing at the time. And back then, there wasn't a whole lot of access to a lot of these shows, like a lot of the older shows. Your only source of access was like pirating or coming across something that was actually like legally translated. But like some of the shows from early like 2000s that we didn't really have a lot of access to. There was a lot of groups that were doing like the fan subbing for free essentially, because there wasn't really money to be made in that.
Well,
and this is like
some
the
groups
days before like streaming devices or streaming services.
Some groups got donations, but like they were
Oh,
mostly
sure,
doing
yeah,
it
sure.
for like just for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that just stems from our conversation last week about just how we're kind of inundated now with so many shows that it's kind of hard to pick something to watch, whereas like back then it's just like maybe there were 3 or 4 shows a season that were just even available to you because there were groups fan subbing it. Like I remember like maybe like when a new season came out, there would be maybe they would give a 3-episode rule, like a fan sub group would give a 3-episode rule to a show, and if they were not interested in fan subbing it anymore, they would just stop. And then like you would hope, if you liked the show, you would hope that another group would pick it up. Otherwise, like you're gonna have to like find a raw
Learn
of it and
Japanese.
learn Japanese. That's just like how it was back then. But now it's like
Yeah.
if you go to a non-legal streaming website for anime, they're just ripping streams off of all of the legal streaming sites and just putting that up there. So it's like it's hardly a thing you see now with like actual fan subbed anime. It's like obviously there are still a few floating around, but like they're more relegated to doing like they're like translating other stuff like manga or like concert DVDs, other content that is not like on a streaming service.
Right, that you wouldn't expect to be picked up by a streaming service or
Yeah.
let alone like a legal service.
You guys
Sorry,
know
Drew,
what I miss the most about fan subs, and it's like a super meme thing now. People make
Troll-
fun of it, but
troll
like
subs?
the
Troll episodes.
not the troll episodes, because those are fun.
TL
Those are
notes?
like ridiculous when you get, but the TL notes, yeah, because like someone thought it was like so important to take the time to like explain like one really like niche thing that happened in that particular scene or something, and like sometimes it was useful. I mean, a lot of times not, but you don't get that as much anymore. I think it's a cause of like the translations being better, just being able to explain kind of what they're trying to portray in our language. so you don't get as much of that, but man, you get some like funny TL notes every once in a while, and it's just like you're
Yeah.
watching this really serious show and you just get a chuckle out of it. It's like
It
was
used to
that
get
necessary?
memed so much because sometimes you'd have like a fucking paragraph just like on the screen of like a TL note.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It was just like explaining something really like why did you explain that? Like you didn't need to explain that.
It's like it's so unnecessary.
It's like I kind of like understood that, but thank you for writing that 200-word essay for me. I really appreciate that.
It's just like you think you have to pause the show too. You're like, oh, what does that say? Like, oh,
This is so important. This is so important. And then
what
it's
is
like-
it?
It's
Oh, it's explaining the difference between san and kun. Okay, great. Okay,
Awesome.
okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for explaining the honorifics to me. Interesting. Very cool.
That's like is something I like completely forgot about because I'm so used to like I'll read a lot of manga on on websites that are kind of mainly pirated, but they always include that.
We don't support that here.
Am I allowed to say that? But yeah, there's like always like translator notes that will kind of explain something or just translate something that is there on the page that they can't like redraw because it's like huge text letters that are taking up half the page, and it's like
We
I
do
don't know
not
what that
endorse
says.
any sort of pirating of any media. Just
It's
out there.
it's useful in those situations where things don't have a direct translation, like
Yeah.
usually just idiomatic phrases. So
Like My Hero, like special moves that are just random words thrown together.
those, or like just something that doesn't have like a direct translation into English or like whatever language, because it's like sometimes there are phrases like the best way I could think of it are just like idiomatic expressions. Like if you've ever studied another language like Spanish or French or something, they're like idiomatic phrases that like they have words that have meaning and like, but it's like a phrase, but like it's usually used for like a different sense. Like we have them in English too. Like for example, like a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. Like if you take that translation literally and try to bring that into another language, they're gonna be like, okay, bird in a hand is worth two in the bush, but like the
But that's
other
two
meaning
birds, and
behind
this is
it.
one bird.
Yeah, but the other meaning
And then
behind
you
it
only
is
have
like
one stone.
is that you have it's like having what you have right now can be worth more than what you can potentially get as more, but not
Unless
or
you're
have
super
nothing at
skilled
all.
and don't suck.
Yeah.
Then obviously
You are, yes, but
Yeah,
in
unless you
the
are suck.
in the basic meaning of that, so it's like translator notes are useful when trying to explain
Yep.
those, but when they're just explaining something like senpai is the word for an upperclassman, it's like, okay, like great, you don't need to
Yeah.
put it in every chapter, like that
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of.
pretty sure we know that by now. Thank you.
We're good.
You did
Thanks.
that first episode? All right, just assume that people remember.
Yeah, yeah, and like there are a lot of groups out there that are still doing fan subs. I know especially for like some of the lesser known shows that may not get picked up by streaming sites. And I mean, like, of course, like there's gonna be like the anime like watching community is like so large that of course people may not watch some of the most popular shows because they may not have interest or their interests lie somewhere else. I think it's still impressive that a lot of these fan subbing groups are still going strong. Because I mean, like I mentioned, a lot of them may not be making a lot of money, and relying solely on donations or just because they enjoy doing it.
It's also
I don't know,
harder
I
to
think
do
it's
it
so-
now.
Sure. I mean, like, yeah, especially with like a lot of like the piracy laws too that are coming up, and not just for anime and manga in general. I mean, I remember a time that like I I couldn't read One Piece for like 6 months because nobody wanted to pick it up out of fear of getting in trouble, going to jail for it.
Also, like another note with that is like, so yeah, now you have like Shonen Jump like has their own like legal service where you can read
Yep.
a bunch of their manga for on their app, But like I remember back in the day as well, this is not just like an anime related thing, but like with manga too, you were really at the hands of those translation groups, because it's like if they were to be like started falling behind, and then like they're like down like 5 chapters, 10 chapters, 30 chapters, and then like it became like a huge ordeal for them to like be like, oh, like we're not caught up, and then like becomes overwhelming, and then like another group starts to try and fill that void, and then like it becomes like a huge kind of ordeal of like people are trying to find out like where can I read the next chapter of One Piece, or where can I read the next chapter of Naruto, and they like you're just like finding these different groups pop up out of nowhere, going like, I can do it, I can translate it, and then people just start like flaming them, going like, your translations suck.
I know,
Then you
but
do
it's
it
still like
yourself,
something that they're just
bitch.
doing.
Yeah. It's like
That's the thing too. It's like with a lot of these groups that are doing like these like scanlating, it's another question too of like where are they going to be providing access to what they're doing, to some of these lesser known shows or some of this manga that people want to read, because again, like, it's not exactly legal, but they're doing it just because they wanted to, or because they feel like other people should have access to certain material, because can't really over here.
there is
Listeners.
one interesting thing related to fan subbing though. So I don't know if you guys have seen the anime Girls in Panzer. But that originally aired on Crunchyroll as a simulcast, but it was censored because one of the episodes had, so like one of the groups is based off of like the Soviet military back during World War II,
I know the scene that you're talking about.
and they play like a Soviet like
Song or whatever.
march song, but they didn't play it with they didn't play the scene, I don't believe, on the actual Crunchyroll simulcast
No,
in the United States.
Yeah,
But
they
like
didn't,
if you
'cause
watched
I
it,
watched it on Crunchyroll, and it
if you
wasn't
watched the fan subbed version, they showed the full thing, and then so like it started like popping up on like different forums, and like people going like, hey, this was censored on Crunchyroll, and like it became like this huge like thing that people were like, oh, what the hell, and then like people are posting comparison videos. So like that was like that's like an interesting thing to see. It's like, well, the fan subbing groups are getting a direct kind of like DVR rip of a show from somebody in Japan, and then Crunchyroll is like getting their own edited version because it's censored by whatever censorship laws we have over here.
All right, that's interesting. That's a good note.
I have a quick question about this too. So like way back before like digital was like the main medium for a lot of these things, like were people like cutting up manga books and like scanning them, and like that's how they were translating them too? Because I wasn't as big into the the manga as I was into the anime. So it's like that requires a lot of effort too, because it's like I'm going in there, I'm scanning all this, I'm blanking out the Japanese and then like translating it into English that way. So it's like a lot of effort that goes into that. It's crazy that some of these people.
It's multiple people at work on like a single project. You have like redrawers, you have typesetters, you have the translators themselves, you have people who acquire all the material.
Yeah, I think they split it up that way. So it's like whoever acquires the material gets probably paid by the group.
By the group.
And then like all they have to do is just scan everything. And then you have like someone that's cleaning everything. So it's like someone like types up the script, translates it, and then another person's cleaning it. So like they're taking out the Japanese and the bubbles and like all of that. Someone else is redrawing, as Mark said. Another person's putting typesetting everything in there. It was a whole team effort, and if it was one person doing it, man, like they're really dedicated.
Like, when's the next one? When are they getting that out? It's like, well, it's probably gonna be a month. This one guy's doing it by himself.
And he probably has a regular job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes home,
Yeah.
does this, passes out, goes to work, comes home, does this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
The
ain't
heroes.
It ain't easy being
The
a hero.
heroes.
easy.
I mean,
That's
unless
what
you're
heroes
Belkun,
do.
then
God.
it's easy being a hero because you just get a glowing hand and you shoot at people.
My
Yeah.
God is wishing me.
My God is wishing me.
God.
And that God is Hestia.
Excuse me, my lad. We all take a little swig.
A little sipperino of
Yeah.
water.
Nice water. Stay hydrated, boys. It's,
It's
hot
hot.
out
Yeah.
there.
It is.
What is it out
Um,
there? Is it in the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, this is the good discussion. I think fan subs. I hope they stick around. Like I really think that like there's like a somewhat of a danger yet positivity that comes out of having so many streaming services. Is like Crunchyroll does a good job of like providing like a pretty broad, you know, kind of content like of like different anime that are airing.
variety of styles.
Yeah, but like then again, like they're usually picking up like what they think is going to be the most popular.
They want to make money.
And it's a pay for service. And so like I mentioned earlier, is like you have a lot of these people who have different interests and different, you know, types of anime that they want to watch that Crunchyroll won't air.
Or Funimation.
Or Funimation, exactly, yeah, you know, or like High Dive, you know. So it's like a lot of people kind of feel like they have no choice until maybe DVDs are released or something, or they may never even get a translation, like an official English translation, or they live in another country where they don't get access.
They don't
to,
get
you
access
know,
to
the
some
big streaming
shows.
sites.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
One other thing that's kind of related is like, do you guys remember back in the fan subbing days when like the opening and ending songs used to have like the crazy ass karaoke
Yeah.
shit where it's just like it's
Like
like, you
the little
know,
thing,
like as the song is going on, like you see like the lyrics like
yeah.
moving
Oh, yeah,
around and shit.
Bleach was
Dude, I missed
notorious
that,
for
yeah.
that. I would watch Bleach and I would see that on there and be like, "What's going on here?"
They want you to sing along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I missed
I
that.
wanted to sing along.
I miss the sing-alongs.
It's sick. It's super
Learning
sick.
Japanese via opening and ending.
Can somebody? Is there a sing-along of the Zombieland Saga OP? Is that
I
what
hope so.
I need that?
I feel
Or
like people
Dr.
that
Stone.
just post that stuff on YouTube now, like the openings and endings are like they're just doing those there now.
Probably, yeah. I
Yeah.
think so. Oh, you mean Ohio Sakai?
Oh my god,
How'd
I
you do
think
it?
this broke. The
Oh,
stream
oh
is dead.
god. Had to do it.
Oh,
Had to do it. Had to be done.
Wow.
All right. So let's move into our final bit of discussion here. Fly.
Nice, fly.
We need to finalize our Orashiri choice. We need another episode, another series that we need to watch. It's not enough to cover this season. You guys mentioned this last week. We had so much promise, and we were left wanting more.
Very disappoint.
Much
If we-
disappoint, such wow.
If we had, we
Um,
probably would have had like 2 or 3 Orashiri this season.
That would have been good
Probably.
because we have a lot on this list. So
Yeah. So yeah, let's get into this list. I only put up like 2 on here,
You only
but like
threw up a
I only threw up a few of them on there. So we have here Clannad, Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion, Kill la Kill, Death Note, Hellsing Ultimate, Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Gurren Lagann, Anohana, Shinsekai Yori. We can continue Monogatari, No Game No Life, Terror in Resonance, and Penguin Drum. These are some good picks. I wouldn't be upset if any of these were picked.
I think we should narrow it down a little bit though.
yeah,
So
should
it's
we
like,
remove
Oh, yeah.
some that are too long?
Yeah, let's get rid of
Or
let's
no-
get rid of a
nothing to
few.
talk about?
Okay.
I'm gonna drop out Evangelion because it's
Evangelion-
a little too long. Yeah.
A little long.
Don't, or just highlight it. Don't delete
Okay.
it from there so that we remember.
I'm
Because if there's a
deleting it from
season
the
where we could,
randomizer.
if
There
we have
you
a
go.
season that's bleak like this one,
Yeah.
we could do 2 episodes a week or whatever.
I think we've all seen No Game No Life, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have, yes.
Yeah. So let's get rid of that one since we've all seen it.
We've all seen it.
I don't know about Anohana, but I don't feel like crying. I don't know about you guys.
All right, so that it would be that, and Clannad would be pulled out if you don't want to.
No, that's
If you
true.
don't-
But
if you don't want
Clannad,
any
it's so
feels.
good. I haven't seen, but Clannad, I
Are
haven't
you
seen
gonna take
in like
Clannad away
over
from me,
10
Mark? You're gonna
years.
take the potential.
No,
of seeing
I
Clannad
don't.
away from
Alec
me?
has not seen
I've never
Clannad,
seen
is
it.
what we're.
all right, then we
Never
can
seen
keep Clannad.
You haven't seen
Clannad, sure.
Anohana either, though.
I haven't seen Anohana either. No. Should we just watch both?
Don't do that.
No,
to me.
dude, you're gonna
rid of
become
one
an
of 'em. I
emotional
choose-
train wreck.
I choose Anohana. We're getting rid of Anohana. We'll keep Clannad.
I don't want to talk about Anohana on the stream and I'm like you start like tearing up like every 2 episodes.
I'm not crying. You're crying. It's raining in my house. It's awful.
He was just there.
Do we want to entertain the possibility of continuing to second season of Monogatari, or do we want to keep that on hiatus for now? Because I mean, we do have a lot of good shows that are on here. I'm okay dropping off with it. I mean, it's up to you.
That and Clannad are probably in a similar boat because they're both longer. So it's like both of them have way more
So if we
episodes.
start it, we're gonna have to continue.
So if we
eventually.
start it, we'll have to have it be a continual thing. So it's like those two maybe mark a different color.
Yeah, let me.
Yep.
I'll do this color for longer series.
All right.
Cool.
What about Cowboy Bebop?
I think it's a good one to keep
think it's
in
a good one to
there.
keep,
I
Especially
haven't
since
seen that since like.
I haven't
was
seen it for a
airing on, like,
while,
Konami.
Do we
But,
want to remove any others then, or are we good with?
I'd say we can get. It's up to you for Hellsing Ultimate. It's not very many episodes, but they're long. They're like movies. Each OVA is a movie, and I think there's. Let me see how many OVAs. Hellsing.
I've heard it's good. I mean,
It's
I don't
super
know much about
good.
it.
I mean, we had someone in our chat who really liked it too. So.
Yeah, yeah. If
If
anybody
it
in chat has any
is.
ideas of like older shows that they think that we should watch, then feel free to recommend
Hit
something.
us up.
I think it is. Where's this one? That's not the right one. It is, I believe, 10 OVAs. They are 51 minutes, 43 minutes, 47 minutes, 56 minutes, 44 minutes, 42 minutes, 45 minutes, 49 minutes, 48 minutes, and
like an hour.
68 minutes.
So
They're
an hour-ish.
about an hour-ish,
45
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
It's like a Netflix original show.
Yeah, but super good. It's up to you though. Again, if we want to keep it
Those are
a
like-
show like that, it's a little bit of a different format for us.
So we could
but it might be
consider that
interesting.
like if we're because that's like 2 episodes a week. So if we did a longer
Yeah, that's
anime,
true.
it's the
Do one.
same. It's like doing 2 episodes
Okay.
a week. But
We'll
Yeah, I
leave
mean, I'm fine with
we'll
it.
leave that
Leave it
there
up.
then.
Yeah.
I like Ghost in the Shell.
Yep, Kimi ni Todoke, that's a good one.
I just had to add something that's different in there.
I
was
like
thinking about it.
I like Ghost in the Shell. I think it's hard to talk about because there's a lot going on in the world itself, and then there's a lot in terms of like philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to get into like all the philosophical conversations that they have in that show.
There's a
I'm
lot.
okay. I'm okay keeping it in there, but it's kind of dry. It's good, but it's very dry, and I don't know that it makes for good conversation. That's just
Oh,
my
I think it does make for good conversation, but it's gonna like that would probably be
entertaining
something.
conversation.
You don't think you can have a good debate on?
I mean, I don't know. I think like it's dry to me. It's interesting, but it's very like we're talking about like human condition and like
Mark, have you seen it?
I've seen bits and pieces of
I've never
Ghost in
seen
the
it, so I
Shell,
can't say
and
either
it's-
way.
I mean,
used
I've
to
never seen
air
it,
on
and it's like,
Toonami. as
yeah,
well.
Right. Yeah, I remember.
yeah,
it
and I
used to
never
air,
knew
just
like
never
what was
watched
going
it.
on, so that's why like it always seemed interesting to me. But I would just
never
catch
saw
like
it.
here and there episodes.
let's keep it since you guys haven't seen it because I think it is one of the like
You know
good
what?
old
I
shows.
would be interested is like that would be interesting to talk about like not on like an actual show, and if we wanted to just like stream during the week or something and have a discussion about
that's
that
like-
show.
It could be a separate thing.
Okay, I'll take it off and we
Yeah.
can do that. Because that would make good shots. Is that what you're saying?
I'll make it a
like
different.
Oh
stream
yeah,
shots.
we could do that.
We could do
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
like a stream shot about it. All right,
Okay.
I took it off. All right,
We should do
anything
that
else
for
we got?
Helsing then too.
All right, let's take.
I'll
off
do that with
Since it's
Hellsing,
a-
yeah.
It's a longer one.
All right. Anything else?
So, yeah, I don't know about Terror in Residence is looking pretty weak compared to some of these other shows.
I think so.
But
All
I,
right. Remove it.
yeah,
All right. Took it
Yeah.
out. All right. What do we think about this list?
Yeah, I think.
Randomize on
I
it?
think-
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
Are you
pull
gonna
it
put?
up
Are you
here.
gonna? Are you gonna put it on the stream? Yeah, I want to. I want to see the.
Yeah. So we have
the
seven
result.
choices.
The randomizer is up.
Cowboy Dad Boys.
Here, let me change the name.
I really almost said that when I was going through the list.
Here we go. Cowboy
At
Dad
least-
Boys is in the randomizer now.
At least now it's kind of there's a variety in the
There
types
is a
of
that's
shows
a
now.
pretty good
Are we ready?
we
we
list
ready?
of shows.
Although we're including Monogatari in the
No,
the
take
randomizer?
take Monogatari
I
out of the
didn't know what you
randomizer. Yeah.
All right. There we go.
All right,
Go check
Alec,
that
you're gonna
list.
you gotta watch Clannad on your own
I gotta watch. Am I taking Clannad out?
because it's highlighted differently
Oh,
in
I
this
didn't.
list.
See. I thought that just meant it meant something different, not take it out. Because those were the purple ones that were like, if we start them, we have to continue them. But I didn't know
Yeah.
we were taking it out.
What are we doing with
Alright.
Clannad?
Yeah, what are we doing with Clannad?
Are we gonna put it in or are we taking it out?
Because I
Put
didn't.
put Clannad in. Put Clannad in because we've been talking about it for a while.
All right.
Man, that's gonna be a brutal show.
All right, I'm gonna
We have to
randomize.
watch that.
So ready, guys? Brrr. Okay, let's
Do it.
It's really fast. It's just gonna just do
There we
it.
go.
Watch.
We got Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
Kimi-
Cowboy Bebop.
Kill
Yeah,
la Kill.
nice.
Do we want
Wait, what was the top four?
Cowboy Dad Boys, Kimi ni Todoke, Kill la Kill, and Gurren Lagann.
Two Gynax shows.
Yeah, literally. Let's
Clannad was dead last.
oh,
It was
that's
eight.
what they felt about your emotions. Well, why don't we keep those four?
I don't know if that's showing my IP. I really hope not.
Why don't we keep those four and then let's see how the next season goes.
Cool.
And then if we want to do if next season is just really bad and we don't want to talk about any of those shows, although there's a lot of stuff coming back.
There is. Yeah.
We can start with just doing Cowboy Bebop, and then if we want to add another show, we can from the other three.
Okay.
Alright, so
Yeah.
winner, second, third, and
Well, I turned that off as quick as I could.
So, so yeah, that sounds good. So, I think that's a pretty good little list of shows that we have
yeah.
to discuss.
That'll be
Yeah.
cool.
That's exciting.
Winner,
so-
Cowboy Dad Boys.
Yeah.
The question
will-
about Cowboy Bebop, though, gentlemen, and this is a very important question: do we watch the sub or the dub?
English dub.
I think
English
so too.
dub?
English dub.
All right,
My
I'm
vote
fine
is
with
English
that.
dub.
I think so too.
It's
Yeah.
a very good dub.
I think the English dub is superior.
I think it is better, and it fits the style of the show a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we are in a consensus for that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Excuse me. Cool. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, at least. Just search Anime on Draft. That way you can stay updated for when we'll be watching the episodes of and which episodes of Cowboy Bebop. So what we do with this segment is we'll discuss at least 2 episodes a week. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. That way you can stay updated with us for every episodes that we watch, and then that way you can participate in discussions as well. So yeah, this will be a good one. I love Cowboy Bebop, one of my favorites.
I'm excited for you, Alec, because
Yeah.
it's dope.
Yeah.
Super
Wait,
cool.
Alec,
not.
you hasn't seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's not.
He hasn't seen it. That's why
That's
we
why
put
we
it on
put
the
it on the
list.
list, 'cause I've
Yeah.
never seen it.
Yeah.
I was
That's
actually
gonna
kind
be
of hoping
sick.
it was going to select it when I was looking at this list.
I've been wanting to watch it for years now, and I just have
Dude,
never
I've,
done
I've
it.
been bringing it up. Yeah.
So.
It's always like a show that I like. I think Rolando and I keep like mentioning when we keep talking about Orochi. It's like, oh man, Cowboy Bebop, that'd be cool. And they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, like we'll pick something else.
I'll just watch Clannad on my own.
It's
I
because like you
guess.
just assume that everybody's seen it. What we can do is
Kind of,
like
yeah.
for stuff like Clannad and other stuff, we can probably just watch it on the side and then talk about it.
Or
Yeah.
if it's really dry, we can pick another one, right? Is that what you were saying
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Shinsekai Yori is second, and that is definitely has a lot of stuff to talk about. So if next season is dry, we'll have a good order series segment.
Wait, out of the 4 we got, no, the Kimi ni was
Kimi
second.
ni Todoke.
Oh.
Isekai Yori wasn't second. It was Cowboy Bebop, Gurren Lagann Kill la Kill, and Kimi ni.
Kimi ni Todoke.
Yeah, Kimi ni Todoke.
I goofed it.
He goofed. He done goofed.
You're done goofed.
I done goofed.
Kimi ni Todoke.
I'm a fool.
I was thinking about putting that one on.
Yeah, we never talk about any sort of like romance shows or anything.
Yeah.
And I also feel like you and I are the only ones that watch them.
I watch them. Or I did during the binging. I haven't really watched any now. There aren't.
We were just watching one before the episode.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed.
Oh Maidens. Oh Maidens
Oh
is good,
Maidens.
man.
Which one is it? Oh Maidens? Is that
Oh
out
Maidens
right now? Is it
in your
airing?
savage.
In your
season. Yes.
savage.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know about it, so I'll watch it.
Oh Maidens of the Savage
I like
season.
romance
There we go.
shows.
It's good.
Romance.
Yeah, I like romance
Um,
and comedy romance shows.
Cool.
He likes the
I'll watch
rom-coms.
like one of these other shows on the side. I was actually like considering picking up Gintama because I keep like I don't know, for some reason we follow like 3 different accounts that just like talk about Gintama all the time. It's like always brought up. It's not like like one of those like Gintama like
What's
Twitter.
Gintama?
It's so long and
Yeah,
it's
it's
hard.
super
Like
long.
I
How are you
heard
gonna
it's
do
hard
that?
to get into.
It's like
It's
Is
how
it
many
a
episodes is that?
romance? Or what?
300 I think. I
No.
think is where they're at.
Are you sure?
It's
It's
300
got to
or
be
400,
longer
I
than
think.
300.
it's really hard to explain what Gintama is, Alec, but I'm gonna send you like a 10-minute GIF that will explain everything that you need to
10-minute
know
GIF,
about
alright.
it. It has to do with snowboarding on top of a shogun and using his boner and his wedgie to steer down the mountain.
That's awesome.
I'm not even kidding.
That's why I want to watch the show, man. Like people say it's great, and then that description.
You get
alone,
some of these ridiculous crazy scenes, but there's also some like really weird shit too. But
Yeah.
I there's just like some like classic gifs of the show that like you just need to see. It's like absolutely, it's like JoJo almost. It's got its own like meme following. It's hilarious.
I've decided to watch like one of these like longer shows, or at least one of these older shows, on my breaks at work. And I figured Gintama is like an easy one to just like keep watching on my lunch break or something.
Make sure you look up like the order to watch them in, because I guess there's like a not, it's not necessarily like you can watch them out of order, but there's like episodes that matter and episodes that don't.
Oh, really?
So I would definitely look something
Save yourself
like a
some
guide,
time.
a guide up, because I was interested in starting it at one point too, and I kind of read this guide and it seemed like very overwhelming, so I kind of didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't it ending?
Yeah, that's good to know. What's
Like
that?
the actual isn't the actual
the
series ending?
manga. The manga just ended, I think.
It just ended?
Yeah, I think I always hear like it's like ending or something, and then it gets like rebooted, but I
Yeah.
think it is actually like ending.
Uh huh. Yeah. Cool. That does it for our Orishiri discussion then. So, stay on the lookout for updates on Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move into our closing housekeeping then. Do we want to do Catherine unboxing? Yes. Yeah.
I
Have you-
saved it if you guys were interested.
If you saved it,
totally,
then we have to open it on the stream.
it's
Then
in.
open it. Open it, my
It's
guy.
in the cellophane.
He's
I
had
haven't
this since
touched
like
it.
Monday
He's been-
and hasn't
been waiting.
opened it.
Hasn't touched it.
He has resisted
There it
temptation.
is.
He's so excited. Look at his face.
Catherine full body, and this is the Heart's Desire Premium Edition. So there they are.
Nice.
Wow.
There they are.
Oh.
Is that
That's-
Um,
do they
that's
steal your
weird.
hearts in that one?
I don't know if they steal your hearts.
They have the Persona 5
Oh,
DLC,
they
right?
stole your wallet.
It is so. Let's open.
Whoa.
Whoa, he's
Oh,
wiping
weapons
out.
on
Whoa, whoa,
Is that California legal?
Everything's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic. While I'm opening this game is sick. Like I played the original, and it was like one of the, it wasn't like the first Atlas game I played, but it was like one of, like when I was getting back into anime, I'm like, let's play some anime games, and I picked up Catherine. It had like just released, and it was super good play. So if you like puzzle games and you also like good story, this is the game for you.
I actually
So
really enjoyed
I-
watching that on Twitch when people were playing it.
Edge.
It's fun to
Didn't
watch.
you
Yes.
stream that on Twitch before, Drew?
Yeah, I think I did stream it. So there's this.
Did you?
So like what the box is, and you can see kind of like all the different squares and tiles and stuff. They're the different
Dead people.
pieces that are used in the actual game. So like the gameplay itself, you're moving these blocks around to try to get to the top of the level. You can also see the sheep, which represents the male fantasy and how corrupt males are, and so that's kind of one of the main concepts of the game. So let's open this guy up.
Don't be a sheeple, people.
Don't be a sheep.
So here is the first. It is a little sheep.
Oh,
Nice.
sheep
Oh,
guy. Oh,
nice. It's got underwear.
And he's got underwear on. the
Underwear.
first collector's edition actually came with this underwear, so they kind of did,
Nice. Did you use it?
homage to that. I did not get the I did not get the collector's edition of that game, so unfortunately.
Actually, I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah, I'm wearing it. Right. No, I have it on a stick in my backyard. It's actually my flag.
So next, this is the art book, and so this is the new Catherine, known by Rin. There is a lot of controversy around her because apparently she is trans.
Okay.
I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm gonna play the game and I'm gonna let everybody know. This game jumped my library, so once I finish Octopath, this is what I'm going to dive into next, and it doesn't take very long.
Is that the Catherine
there's-
that's spelled with a Q?
Catherine.
I think she goes by, I know she goes by Rin. I don't know anything. I've kind of been saving myself for this game, so I haven't been like trying to spoil myself. And there's also all this like stupid drama about it. But like some art, very cool.
Nice. Catherine Rin.
She's sitting on a piano.
In chat, David says he's only heard bad things about it. Unfortunately.
Well, do not listen to the bad things because this game is sick.
It's actually
Because
really
this is the kind of
It
stuff
looks
that you
really
get.
Is that the bad things you're talking about, David?
Yeah,
Oh, that's the bad things.
super bad.
It's like when we went to Vegas and the Bible was used to block eyesight of.
Wait a minute. Is there hand holding in this game?
Whoa!
There's definitely hand
Oh, you're
holding.
taking
Oh
it
my God.
too far.
Oh gosh.
So next
Mark,
we got
Mark,
the
you gotta close your
soundtrack.
eyes.
If you like jazz and if you also like
soundtrack.
super holy like orchestra, like the Hallelujah and like all that stuff from like classical composers, you will like the soundtrack. But it's super good. So got the soundtrack there, and then what I got it for is the steel case. So you have the two Catherines, Catherine with the K, Catherine with the C, and
Catherine
Catherine with
With a Q.
Catherine. Hello, Catherine.
Catherine.
Hello, Catherine. How are you today?
and then
Oh.
the disc.
Oh, he's touching it.
You
He's
know
touching
why-
it.
Rated M.
Whoa.
Rated M.
You know why it's
We're not
Catherine with a
old
Q,
enough,
though,
though.
right?
Yeah, for Quagmire.
Because she's
Because
I don't-
she's of questionable
I-
gender, right?
Oh.
I don't want.
I bet you that is why they did it. I bet you that's why they did it.
She goes by Rin. That's what I'm gonna
Is it
keep
the
it as.
Q in
but,
LGBTQ?
maybe.
Maybe, you know.
questioning.
So
I don't
that's
think
that.
that's what the Q
Don't know.
stands for, Mark. In LGBT.
That's what it came with.
Wait, what did he say?
He said, yeah, questionable gender. I'm like, that's not what the Q stands for in LGBTQ, my dude.
No, it's not. Just kidding.
Gosh.
It's very squishy.
Yours.
Questionable.
There's no noisemaker. This will go on my desk for a while. But
Nice.
anyway, that's it.
Cool.
The steel box is cool. I don't really have a steel box this color either, so it's
That's
it's
Pink.
interesting.
Pink. It'll stand out.
It'll stand out. It'll go with my Persona 5 and as well as some other ones. But very cool.
They don't give you a school bag like the Persona 5 one, though.
They didn't give me a school bag and they didn't give me a Morgana.
But they gave you a
But
sheep.
that just that
You got
allows
a
me
sheeple.
to. I did get a sheeple, but I can go to bed whenever I want because I don't
'Cause-
have Morgana pestering me.
Oh, right. You know how Morgana telling you to go to sleep.
Also, I think like the voice actors, I think like Matt Mercer's in it.
Of course.
A lot of Troy Baker, like a lot of the classic like Atlas voices, they're all in it. But actually, the dub is pretty good. So,
Nice.
that's that. I'm looking forward to playing it again.
You should stream it so we can.
Yeah,
watch
It's a pain in the ass to stream PS4 games.
Because it
Because
blocks
you
off
have the
half your screen.
HDCP.
Maybe what I'll do is because like you can just stream it from the PS4. Maybe I'll hook in the Anime on Draft account. There won't be any commentary because I don't have a mic with my PS4. But if you wanted to watch it, maybe I'll think about doing that. We'll do like maybe like the good playthrough or something.
Just
or
if you
the
do
new,
it on
or the
PS4,
new
it
route or
cuts off
something.
a quarter of your screen, which is annoying.
Yeah,
for the
it
player.
is super annoying.
There's also the issue if your capture card has issues with HDCP, then you can't stream PS4.
Yep.
So,
if we can get it working, I'll think about it. But yeah, we'll.
I'll
we'll see.
watch. I liked
Cool.
watching.
I would watch. Yeah.
that game.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send me
That
that
was
steel
fun.
case. Thanks.
now that he
No,
Yeah.
That's
now
fine.
now that he finally opened the game, you can actually
So
play
we
it.
can actually
You can
play
start playing it.
I have to beat Octopath Traveler first. So
Oh,
once
God. Good
luck.
once I beat that, then
Yeah, good luck.
I'm like halfway
Yeah.
through it.
I'll consider playing that game once I actually start playing Fire Emblem Three Houses.
And you know maybe Catherine just skips the line because it's not that long of a game. It's like 6 hours for an ending, so it's not crazy. But
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then let's move into our final bit of news here. World of Warcraft Classic is currently facing DDoS attacks, so it's down for a lot of people right now. You guys mentioned this, and I haven't really like been keeping up to date with WoW Classic because I didn't really play. But you said somebody was like caught.
Yes.
yeah, so the original case, and now I guess there's more going on, like right now, like currently going on. But like the original guy was caught, and his like Facebook was leaked, and his personal information was leaked. So he made a big oof.
Big oof.
So yeah, I would not try to DDoS large companies. The unfortunate thing about it is like it cost Blizzard like $30,000 to combat the
to
attack.
combat the
which
attack,
is-
it was $29,800 something, and then he's going to jail for a year, to federal
Yeah.
prison. He was actually
Federal
apparently like a Romanian citizen, and he was
Yeah.
extradited or whatever over to
Oh.
the U.S. to
Wow.
be.
Wow.
I think that
tried.
might have been for a separate case
Yeah.
because that was back in 2010.
He was
But just more DDoS
allegedly
attacks.
doing other stuff as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's happening, but yeah. Other than that, though, Classic WoW's been pretty interesting. The biggest issue now is just how full the servers are. I'd give it another
Like,
week,
yeah.
and it probably won't be that bad. I think people are kind of realizing what the game is and what the game isn't, and how
And they're
fun it
giving
is or
free
how fun it
character
isn't.
migrations out of full
Yeah.
servers now. It popped
Yep.
up on my screen and was like, "Please take it, people. Just take it.
Yeah,
Get out of
somebody-
here. I
somebody-
don't want you anymore."
Yeah.
So
But it's fun.
yeah, it's a fun time. I'm
Um,
enjoying it, but leveling as a warrior is just solo awful, terrible by myself.
Solo leveling in a Classic WoW in general is bad, but if you don't have any sustain, yeah, it's even worse. So
Yeah. Mark has no idea.
I have no
He's
idea.
like,
Yeah.
"You
Okay.
got it, guys. Yeah."
No clue.
All right.
All right. Next bit of news here. Violet Evergarden film has officially been delayed from their planned January 10th opening. This is, of course, due to the arsonist attack on the KyoAni studios.
That,
But they
just to clarify, that's in the West, I believe.
In the West, yes,
because
thank you.
it did
you.
open in Japan already.
Right. So they just wanted to push back the international release just to give time for the studio to have a better adaptation and translations. So yeah, I think that also brings us into our next bit of news, is that fans flocked to the first KyoAni film release. So it says on here that the initial release for the film did very, very well. And that's exciting. I mean, this is one that people we had no doubt, people were going to be coming to show their support to the studio. So they I'm not sure if they shared how much money the film made over the weekend.
No.
But I think it like just aired on Friday, right?
Yeah, it just released on Friday, but they
Mhm.
talk about is the donations Keone's been receiving.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm sure this is gonna be a very heartfelt movie. Let alone like the actual movie aside, I think it's gonna be pretty pretty powerful. I also heard that the director of the movie wanted every name of the people who worked on or that were at Keone Studios. They're all being involved in the credits. So ordinarily, from what I read, is that usually the senior members and senior staff only get mentions in the credits. But in this movie, every person who had a hand in the film, whether they're
Very cool.
juniors or interns or whatever, they were included in the credits as well.
That's
That
cool.
is odd
Super
that that's how they were doing credits before, because you definitely can't get away with that in the U.S.
Not at all. Nope.
People want to see
So
their
I mean,
name
yeah,
on the
I
big
think
screen.
that's yeah. I mean, but like to them, they're probably like, "Oh, you're just like an intern."
You
Well,
brought me coffee.
bad.
It's like if you're like I can see it's like if you're just at an intern level and you've like maybe only worked for a day, then they're probably not going to put your name in the credits. But
Unless that
like
day
if you
that you
did
worked,
something,
you had a big impact.
you know,
Yeah.
like even if you're just a junior animator or something,
like,
like
junior staff, I'm
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
like they're not. You can't
You
not
were there
put
for
their
a
name
day
in
and
there.
you created the 3D model that the whole movie used for Violet. All right, we're not putting you on there. You were only there a day.
I thought we were gonna get through the whole episode without saying
I know, right? Yeah, cheers for that one. So yeah,
Oh,
I think
sorry,
it's gonna be good.
you cut out for a second. Say it again.
Yeah, I said it, I can't wait to watch that film. I think it's gonna be good.
Yep, yep,
Very
yep.
very good. I mean, the previews of it look amazing. So, yep. Next bit of news here. You want to get into this Love Live news, Rolando?
Yeah, so they revealed the new song single titles for the Love Live Sunshine subunits. So the new Guilty Kiss song is New Romantic Sailors.
Ooh.
Like
New
everyone's been
romantic
making fun of these titles because they're just saying they put it in a random like word generator.
Word generator.
Because so there's Guilty
The
Kiss's
next
new
two are
song
pretty good.
is New Romantic Sailors. Ciaron's new song is Braveheart Coaster.
It's a crayon.
And then Azalea's new song is Amazing Travel DNA.
I love it. I love it, dude. That's so great.
That is the
Amazing
best
Travel
title
DNA.
right there. Amazing Travel DNA.
Oh my
God.
god.
They've got DNA for
So-
amazing travel. Just it's in their genes.
Yeah.
I got.
I was just gonna say that. That's how the song starts. That'd be lit. Cool. I love
Right
it.
on.
Amazing Travel DNA.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
my favorite.
Very
It's gonna be a
cool.
banger. Last bit of news here. Rising the Shield hero director reveals challenges to adapting anime. This is actually a pretty good read.
Yep.
I'll put this up on the Twitter if you guys want to take a look at this.
Got it up right here.
Apparently, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's
There's-
not easy.
Not
there-
easy at all.
It's a good
Director
Life
read.
reveals
is hard.
challenge. It's hard.
There's like a specific quote in here that's like pretty good. So it's like it says, so of course if you start with a novel, all you have to work on is the text. And you work from the text and you try to express that text in animation. But if all we do is take the text and just turn it into visuals as is, I think that's really not enough. The viewers want more than that, so trying to bring something new to the audience is something that's both a challenge, but also an interesting part of bringing novelizations and light novels to the screen. And I think that is the correct mindset to take when adapting like a light novel to animation, because there's a lot of differences in the medium or the media,
Yeah.
and you need to like be able to adapt, like I guess pun intended, things differently
Yeah.
as like each each medium has like its own strengths and weaknesses.
Sure.
So
we should discuss adaptations next week. I think
yeah.
that would be a good discussion point.
Let's write it down.
Can
so
we
don't
get that?
forget.
Write
Get
it
that
down.
in.
Devin, can you put that in there?
Devin,
Script real quick.
Devin.
Devin?
Um,
Devin's back? What? Since when? I wasn't part of that decision.
Yeah, we brought it back just right now.
but
Just
I
right
think
now. Okay.
if you want to read that article, it's pretty good. And Rising of the Shield Hero is one of those series that like is a very
well,
good
and-
adaptation.
Yeah.
Like I haven't read much. I did kind of go and try and read a little bit of the light novel, or I don't know if I was reading the light novel or the web novel. But the adaptation is good. Like the show is good, and it's confirmed for seasons 2 and 3. So,
Yep.
So I guess everybody thinks it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Cool. So I think that about does it for us this week. Thank you everyone for sticking with us and getting through everything. Again, it wouldn't be an Anime on Draft episode without some technical difficulties.
Yes.
All right.
It's always good times.
Expect it.
Yeah. So it's to be expected.
Believe it.
So we will catch you guys next time. Make sure you stay up to date with all of our social media. You can follow us on Twitter, read some of these articles that we're posting. Just search Anime on Draft. You can also see pictures of our beer on our Instagram. Search Anime on Draft Podcast. And of course, if you are listening to us right now on Spotify, iTunes, or SoundCloud, we are streaming live on Twitch Sunday nights around 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can join us live and join in our discussions. And of course, thank you guys who are here right now in the chat on Twitch. Again, we'll be back next week to you can see our lovely faces.
Yeah.
It's always fun. Yeah, and if you have anything else that you want to reach out to us about, you can always go to our WordPress or our website, animeondraft.wordpress.com, or you can send us an email about anything, anything at all. Just email us, animeondraft@gmail.com. And of course,
us a
if you
5-star
could
rating.
be so, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said what you were
Yeah.
about to say, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, if you could be so kind as to leave us a review on iTunes podcasts, leave us a 5-star review if you enjoy the episode. If you enjoy the podcast, we would greatly appreciate it. It helps us get a little bit more of a recognition out there.
Recognition.
Recognition. It helps us get
I
out
want you
there,
to
and that way other
recognition-ize
people
us.
can find us a little bit easier. So again, yeah, if you want to leave us a rating or follow us on SoundCloud, Spotify, that would be wonderful. So again, that does it for us this week. We'll see y'all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.